Do you ever want to do something, but at the same time, you don't at all? That is how I feel about being on a baking challenge show on TV. I think being on one of these shows would be really fun and exciting, but at the same time, just thinking about it brings on so much stress and anxiety. So I thought, why don't I just do my own baking challenge show in my own house? The rules for this challenge are, I have to make a cake that's holiday themed, I have to use 3 different cake decorating mediums, and I have to decorate this cake in 5 hours. Ready, set, go. I was watching Halloween and Holiday Wars last night, and what always confuses me is that it seems like they already have a bunch of cake and Rice Krispie treats already made. It also looks like the cake structures are already built too. It could be some kind of TV trickery. I'm not really sure. They do get 7 hours, which gives them time to make a tasting portion of the cake too. I only have 5 hours though, so I'm gonna skip the baking and tasting part. And by the way, my plan for this cake is to make a square gift box with a beautiful white bow wrapped around it. I think it would also be really cute to have a 3D reindeer sitting on top waiting to deliver this gift on Christmas. Okay, I have already done my baking, and what I have here is a couple of vanilla cakes, and then to go inside of that I have some strawberry buttercream frosting, and this is left over from my last video. And I also have just some regular Swiss meringue, and I will put the links to all these recipes for you guys, and also a double chocolate cake, I think that's what it's called. So I will leave the recipes for you guys down in the description box. Okay, let's keep going. Normally I would level the top, except I'm in a big hurry today, so I'm just gonna leave it as is, especially since the top is pretty flat anyways. So let's just go ahead and tort it right through the center. Okay, there we go, that was easy. And I'm going to next fill them with my frosting. This buttercream is actually a mock Swiss that's made with egg whites from a carton. It's like an easier version of Swiss meringue, and it flavors so well. I didn't show it, but I also added some peppermint flavoring, and it was delicious, so good. I just love how those crushed candy canes gives it a nice crunch too. Okay, the cake is very imperfect here on the side, so I'm gonna try to cover that up and fill in all these little gaps with my Swiss meringue. So I'm just gonna fill it in all these little spaces, try to clean it up. I was able to tort, fill, and give my cake a crumb coat in about, 13 minutes. So I don't know if that's good. Here it is. It looks kind of crooked, not very perfect, but I'm gonna fix it. Okay, let's keep going. I have filled and stacked cakes so many times that I think I could actually do this with only one hand, or maybe even blindfolded. It's the carving part that is so difficult for me because it's a different shape every single time. I think that I could actually spend 2 hours just carving this cake. Okay, so when I look at a reindeer's head, this is not the shape that I'm going for. It's actually thicker down here at the bottom. So let's try to, I'm just gonna flip this over and then try to fix it and see how that goes. I picked ganache to go on the outside of all the cakes because normally it sets up really fast on the outside of the cake. I forgot though that I had a layer of buttercream under the ganache, so I am having some issues with it setting up on the gift box cake, but after I chilled the cake, it was much easier to get somewhat smoother sides and edges. I have 3 hours and 38 minutes left to go, and I really want to finish ganaching this cake. I could spend another hour trying to get perfect edges and corners on this cake, but I don't have enough time, and I know the decorating is going to take a long time, so I'm just going to move on. All right, let's go. When you panel a cake, you need a really sharp exacto knife and a ruler. I'm not doing a very good job of demonstrating this right now because I'm really rushed, but what you do is you roll out a piece of modeling chocolate and then you hold up that piece to the side of the cake, and you really want it just a little bit bigger than the side of the cake. Okay, so then you hold the ruler up against the modeling chocolate, and then you cut away the excess, and then you get a really sharp cut. The paneling of the cake is taking me a really long time. I don't know if it was the best choice to do when I'm really trying to make a cake really fast because it's time consuming. I have about 2 hours and 58 minutes left. I don't know what I was earlier, but I just know that has taken me a really long time. So I need to hurry up and pick up the pace. So I just realized something. I put this central threaded rod here to hold up the reindeer's head, but I didn't make it tall enough. I miscalculated. It was supposed to go all the way up to here, but as you can see, it's a little bit too short. So I don't really have a reason to have this threaded rod here, so I'm just covering it up, and then I'm gonna move on to the decorating of my reindeer. During the episode of Holiday Wars that I watched last night, catastrophe struck when one of the team's elf head completely fell off his body. I don't want that to happen to my cake, so to keep my reindeer's head in place, I need some way to hold the head up. I decided to use plastic straws for supports, so I'm pushing them into the cake and then cutting them flush with the top of the body, and then I can stick the head onto the body with more ganache. I think that will work nicely. All right, so I'm going to panel this as well, and that means I'm just going to cover the front. I'm going to attempt to cover the front, and then I will cover the back in a second sheet, and then try to blend the seams the best that I can. So let's see if I can do it. I also need dowels in the gift box cake to hold up the weight of the entire reindeer. And it's the same process of adding the dowels like we did earlier, and then I can carefully place the reindeer on top of the gift box. The details are up next, and this is something that could totally slow me down. So I made myself a list so I do not deviate from it. I'm going to make the antlers, the ears, eyes and face. I have to get that done. If I have time, I would like to make a scarf, and also I need to do the legs and arms. So I have a lot to go. Let's keep going. The molds from Amazon are sometimes unpredictable, but this antler mold that I got is actually pretty good. You do need to dust it with a little cornstarch before you can push the modeling chocolate into the mold. And once you have the wires in them, you just need to pop those into the freezer to set up. My first cake decorating medium was modeling chocolate. That one was easy. The second one is isomalt sugar. Isomalt is a sugar substitute, and we like to use it because it's really clear and it's easy to work with. So I'm using isomalt to make the eyes. I'm just pouring some over the printed eyes. And I'm also using it for the icicles, and I decided to give him a heart-shaped isomalt nose. Okay, I just finished the reindeer. He looks okay. He looks kind of cute at the right angle. And I have about 53 minutes to go. So I'm going to move back to the gift box cake. Okay, let's go. Okay, I want my bow to be very shimmery and shiny, so I'm gonna airbrush it with some pearl sheen. See how that goes. And while I'm waiting for my paper to dry, I'm going to cut out some dots and stars to put on my gift box. Okay, this is my third cake decorating medium. It is kind of like edible paper, but it's more flexible. It's called Flex Frost, and actually it's a little bit more like fabric. I have never used it before, and my friend Jennifer, she has a YouTube channel called How to Cake That by Jennifer Spruce. She told me this would change my cake life. So I am really looking forward to trying this out. I'm using this cool fabric-like paper to create a beautiful gift box bow. And by the way, I have tasted this paper. It has a vanilla-like taste to it. I'm finding that you can make a bow just like you would with fondant. So you just want to make 2 loops and then wrap another piece of the material around the center to hold it all together. The best way to create snow is with chopped coconut and glittery sprinkles. The coconut snow is always beautiful, and it helps to conceal all those mistakes too. Okay. Up. 3, 2, 1, time is up. All right, oh gosh, that was a lot of work. So here it is, my reindeer sitting on top of a gift box. I think it turned out okay. I mean, overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. It was a lot of work, but I got it all done in 5 hours. If I had maybe 2 more hours, I think I would make a couple more changes. Like I'd make him a little bit taller, possibly. He looks a little thick sitting here. The gift box looks okay, especially with all the snow on it. And what I love the most about this cake is the bow. I just absolutely love that product. So I am going to be trying that out again on another cake. So that is it. I did it. Thank you all for watching. If you have made it all the way to the end of this video, I truly, truly thank you for being here today, and happy holidays to all of you. And if you guys have any ideas of more challenges or something you would like to see me make, let me know in the comments. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.